been a while since I've done a video, so I figured it was time for another one. I just wanted to talk to you today a little bit about some stuff that Scientologists don't like to discuss. Even current Scientologists, but even ex-Scientologists, they don't like to discuss this, which is that the Church of Scientology essentially, the technology of Scientology, not the church, essentially teaches you to separate your actions from your emotion. It turns you into a sociopath. It removes you from the human condition. You find yourself unable to empathize with people around you, unable to understand why they feel or how they feel, or it's really strange. One of the defining characteristics of a sociopath is that they lack empathy. They're unable to recognize emotions in others, and Scientologists are like that. It's strange to say. I've experienced it myself. You really start to separate the main driving force behind being human, which is your emotions, and you lose a lot of the joys of life. And recently I felt anger for the first time since I can ever remember. I got angry at someone, and it was strange. It was a strange feeling. Learning how to feel again is a strange experience. That technology that L. Ron Hubbard invented, it essentially trains you not to react like a normal human would. It trains you to be non-human, and as a result, that's why Scientologists are able to turn their backs on people and just not care about them, turn them into non-persons, because they really don't care. Scientologists are assholes, for lack of a better word. They treat people like crap. They talk about people like crap, especially non-Scientologists. They view them as scum. It's terrible. It's almost like being with a bunch of racists, and it's really hard. YouTube is full of racists. I'm sure I'll have a million racist comments on the video alone, but I don't surround myself with people who are hateful, and Scientologists are hateful of anyone that's not a Scientologist, and it's pathetic. I hate it. As ironic as that is, I hated feeling that way. It was terrible. So when I left, I discovered that I could feel sad, or I could feel happy. I could be sick and not have to worry about something bad happening to me, because Scientology teaches you when you're sick that worst things, that it's your fault. It's your fault that you're sick. So I'm just going to give an example of something that happened to me when I realized what I was turning into, and when I really realized I needed to step away from it. My aunt, she passed away in 2010. Before that, my dad had talked her into leaving her husband, something he'd been trying to do for a long time, and she moved in with us. After she moved in with us, my dad decided to go through her computer and dig through her things, her emails, look on her dating websites, on her IM conversations, and he decided that it was somehow his business, which is a very Scientologist thing to do. Scientologists have no respect for the privacy of others, because you're not expected to have privacy in Scientology. You're expected to tell the church everything. So he dug through her stuff. They had a fallout as a result. He had our entire family sit down as he confronted her about the things he found on there. And to be frank, they were dirty things, but nothing that I wouldn't say. I've probably said dirtier things than the stuff he's found in there. Anyway, that's besides the point. Excuse me. So after that fallout, she ended up moving out, and my dad told me we had to disconnect from her. And I don't remember why. I don't remember the whole story, but that was basically what my dad said was law, because my dad was the OT3 in the family, which made him more respected and more powerful than any of us. And so we respected his statements. And unfortunately, by the time I realized how bad that, or it took a while to sink in. I don't know how to say it. It's weird, because for a while it was like I was viewing everything from a distance, because I had this sense of I don't know, what is the word that psychologists use? Anyway, I felt like I wasn't in touch with everything, or I wasn't feeling everything. And slowly, it took a long time from when I left the Sea Org to get myself back, if that makes any sense to you. And the more I found myself, the more I realized I was going to be leaving my family. So this was towards the end of all of that, and was actually probably the thing that pushed me over the edge, because right as I was about to decide to move out and go live with my aunt because she was ill and she needed help, I found out she had passed away. My dad called me in tears. I don't know if they were crocodile tears or what, but he didn't seem to care much about her, except for a few moments after we saw her body. After that, what ensued was him trying to get his hands on her property and her money and anything that she owned. And it made me sad to see that that was how he remembered her, was by her things. He didn't care about her as a person, and he continued to badmouth her. And I turned my back on her, and I still feel guilty about that. I don't know how long I'll carry that guilt, maybe forever. Fortunately for me, it's something that taught me that I need to care. I need to care about everyone, even if I don't think they deserve to be cared for. So I do. I care. I care about everyone. I care about my friends and my family and people I meet on a day-to-day basis. I try to be nice and try to be genuine, and I do what I can for people. And if it's smiling at them as I'm walking down the street to make their day, that's what I do. But Scientologists don't care. They don't care about anyone. The truth of the matter is that they think that they are above humanity, and they think they're better than the rest of us. And it's unfortunate, but they don't see the error of their ways until they leave. I was raised in the church, and I was raised in the religion, and I didn't know anything else as a kid. And the fact that I could realize that there was something wrong with it and walk away from it makes you wonder why these grown men, grown women that get stuck in it continue to stay, continue to support it. What about people like Tom Cruise and John Travolta and Kirstie Alley? Why don't they step away like Leah Remini did when she saw the abuse? She was raised in the church like me too. Which, by the way, just to add, just to throw it out there, Leah Remini, I met her while I was in the church. She's a sweetheart. I loved her. She was the nicest person I'd ever met in Scientology, to be honest. And probably the only nice person I ever met. I'm surprised she stayed in as long as she did. I don't know how long she had been on the fence, but I'm glad she's out. So back to the topic at hand. Scientologists, they are inhuman. There are two types of people in Scientology. They're the abusers and they're the abused. And unfortunately, it's hard to tell the difference because a lot of times a Scientologist is both. It's weird to say. It's kind of like if two people pointed a gun at each other, pulled the trigger at the same time, and they both died. Which one's the murderer and which one was defending themselves? You never really know. That's what Scientology is. The only way to end Scientology is just to end it. You can't blame anyone for what went wrong other than the man at the top. He's the only one that's not being abused by anyone. But then again, who knows what kind of abuse he suffered? This David Miscavige. Who knows what he went through, because he was raised in the church too. He may have suffered just as much as the rest of us. So blaming someone or finding someone to blame or point the finger at is something we all like to do, but you can't do that in Scientology because every finger should be pointed at everyone. There's really no answer to who done it, except for L. Ron Hubbard. He's the one to blame in the end. In my case, the worst thing that I did was what I did to my aunt, and I accept the fact that my family turned their backs on me as my threefold karma. We all reap what we sow, and I certainly did. And that's why when people tell me how awesome I am for leaving, well, my aunt showed me the way out when she passed away. And it's unfortunate for me that it took that much for me. It took that for me to see my way out. I just hope she knows. I just hope wherever she is, she knows I love her. Aunt B, my Aunt Brenda. Wish I had a picture of her to show you. I'll have to get some developed. She's a sweetheart though, and I do miss her a lot. And I hope one day, I don't know, I mean, I don't know if I believe in the afterlife. I'm a bit agnostic right now, but I hope I get to see her again one day. Um, anyway, so just to bring the video to an end, because I'm going on 10 minutes here. Scientology is full of inhuman monsters. It's not a good place to be. And I hope everyone stays away from it. Even child abuse can be justified by Scientology because they view children as small adults. It's terrible. It's a terrible place. I mean, Hubbard knew how to justify everything. And I just hope that people stay away from it from now on, and I can't wait to see it fall apart. And the day it does, I know that my Aunt Brenda will be happy, and I know that my grandmother, my mom's, I know that both my grandmothers will be happy, because the church tore more than just me away from my immediate family. I tore my entire family apart, my cousins, my aunts, my uncles, and my grandparents. I didn't even get to see my Nana when she passed away. I saw her a couple weeks before, but because I was in the Sea Org, I had to go back, and so she passed away while I was gone. And I lost a lot of time with her, and I lost a lot of time with my cousins. When I went back to visit them recently, it was strange to see them so old. I didn't realize how much I missed them. So that's the thing. These are the kind of things that ex-Scientologists try to communicate, but they just can't be blunt about it, because a lot of us don't want to admit that we could do something like that. Like I did to my aunt. A lot of us don't want to. We don't want to face the truth about it. And the fact is, we've all done bad things in the name of Scientology. Everyone has. There's very few who were in longer than a year that didn't. I'm sure if you're a Scientologist and you're watching this and you think long enough, you could think of someone you turn your back on. You may take a while to remember them because they became a non-person when you did, but they're there. So I hope that this explains a little bit about how bad it is in Scientology, and about how bad it really is. Scientologists don't like to talk about it, but it's there. Thank you for listening.